So nice. And then Kathy, I know Kathy knows how to take care of herself. But like everyone at home, I always feel like make sure you got warm stuff. Maybe have like a heater in your space, keeping you nice and warm so you kind of get the warmth too. So I know you all, but I always feel like it's a good just thing to do. My name is Kelly. We're in for 60 minutes of Journey into Power Yoga. This is week 1 of 40 days. Is there anyone in here who's in 40 days? I know Kathy is, and I am, so it's us two. Okay, cool. But the cool part is, whether you're in it or not, there's themes that go along with each week of 40 days, and you'll probably, as you practice, hear those themes trickling into the classes that you come to, because we just kind of spread the 40-day themes and love as the program's going on. So this week, the theme is presence. And so what I offer you in your practice this morning is to get curious about, a lot of times you like hear what presence is. You might hear us talk about what we think presence is. But really the next 60 minutes, lean into what does it mean for you to be present? What does it look and feel like when you are? What does it look and feel like when you're not? And just use your practice as a place to discover what that means for you, possibly as an access to using it through the rest of your day today. So we'll do that. And then welcome, Mike. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and get started. Child's pose. We're talking in the lobby a little bit, Angie and I, about like sometimes like the most challenging thing is just to get your butt in on your mat for a practice. So especially 6:30 a.m., dark, cold, it's a major accomplishment to get out of bed and show up right here. And so now with your eyes open, take some really deep breaths. And you're here, like obviously physically your body is here. And now use your breath as an access to getting present. What does it mean to get present? What is your access point to presence? For me, it's feeling my hands on the floor, feeling my shins on the floor, feeling my head on the floor. So really not just being there, but feeling the space that you're in. And then with your next inhale, come up to all fours. And then press back to downward facing dog. Drop your head, set your eyes towards the back edge of your mat. Relax your shoulders, right? You don't have to pull them away from your ears or anything like that, but just a relaxed quality to your shoulders. Feel what there is to feel here. And then step forward to the top of your mat. With an inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, ragdoll pose. Drop your head all the way down, all the way. And what is there to feel here? And even as you feel what there is to feel, check in on as you apply different pressure through your feet, different alignment through your feet, what new sensations become available to you. I usually find that when I get present to my feet, there's not a lot of pressure in my big toe mound. A lot of my weight is kind of pushed back. My legs are back, my hips are back, my shins are back. And so if that's true for you, bend your knees a little bit more and put some weight in the big toe of each foot. And then as you press your big toes down, lift the pit of your belly up a little bit more, and then breathe right there. You might notice some more sensation, some more waking, enlivening through your middle back, maybe your upper back. Breathe and feel for one more breath. And then with that inhale, press down through your feet more, come rolling all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up, look up, take a big breath in, a big morning stretch, and exhale your hands to heart center. Samastitihi, set your eyes, set an intention for your practice. And we'll begin with 3 ohms. Take a breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, step back, high to low push up. And inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. 2 more breaths in and out. Now here's your last breath in. Blow all the air out, bend your knees, and then move your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Forward fold. Stand up, reach up. Take a big breath in. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Breathe in. Blow all the air out. Move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Open your eyes. 3 breaths. See 1 point. Okay, so your eyes, they're steady. Your breath, dynamic. Together, breathe in. Together, breathe out. Move your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Eyes open, breath moving. Sounds really good. And now plug into your foundation, your hands and your feet. Press down into earth. Take a full breath in. Bend your knees, get ready. Float. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Press your feet deep down into the floor. Forward fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Plant your hands intentionally. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Good. 2 more. Ujjayi, drishti, and foundation. Hands, feet, and core. Breath in. Blow all the air out. Move feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Lasana. Stand up, reach up. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Stay plugged in. And so one of the tools that really helps us with this quality of presence are the first 3 pillars: your drishti, your breath, and your foundation. Take a big breath in. Blow all the air out. Move your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway and fold. Chair pose for 5 breaths. Good. Plug in through your feet. Press the center of each heel down. Press the big toe mound of each foot down. So feel the plug through your feet. And then stretch your hips back towards the back of your mat. Nice, Wilden. Take 1 more breath in. Reach through your fingertips. And then fold all the way down to the floor. Halfway lift. Low push up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Warrior 1 for 5 breaths. Good. And just get present to your feet. I find that typically I'm not present to my back foot, and usually the body parts that are behind me are harder to become present to. So if that's true for you, really put your attention on the center of your back heel driving down, the big toe mound of the back foot driving down, and from that press, reach up. Take a breath, hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Now left foot steps warrior one. 5 breaths. What does it mean for you to become present through your back foot and what gives you access? 2 more breaths. Good. Stretch all the way up through your arms. Breathe in. Hands to the floor. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And a breath out. Maybe a sigh. Nice. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Move your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Now 1 breath, chair pose. Reach up, forward fold. Halfway lift, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Step up, 1 breath. Open your eyes up, low push up. Up dog, down dog, left side warrior one. So drishti, big breath in, ujjayi, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Awakening. So what does it mean to awaken? It's a quality that's a little bit deeper than just crawling out of bed. Take 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Half lift. Fold. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift with an inhale. Low push up with an exhale. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. With the inhale, stretch your arms up high. Low push up. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot warrior one. With an inhale all the way up to the top. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 2 more Sambis. And just consider there's more to wake up. And so continue to look into what newly can awaken, what newly can I become present to. Breath in, blow it out, feet to your hands. Half lifts, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana, fold. Halfway lifts, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot warrior one. Lunge down a little bit deeper, low push up. Upward facing dog, down dog, left foot. Step to your left thumb so you have some width between your feet, then low push up. Upward facing, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 1 more Sandhi. 2 more. Last breath in. Blow it out. Move feet to hands. Half. Fold. Utkatasana. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Down dog. Right side warrior one. That full stretch all the way up to your fingertips. Low push up. Up dog. Down dog. Left side warrior one. So it's like you're stretching all the muscles out through your arms. Low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Blow it out. And bring your big toes together to touch. Lift your right leg up and back. Flip dog. 5 breaths. And so right away, set your eyes. Pick a point, any point. And as you pick that point, now breathe. Bring back that same quality of breath. 2 more breaths. Feel your bottom hand, all 5 fingertips. Feel your 2 feet. Last breath in. Flip back. High plank. Big toes together. Side plank. Pick your gaze. So pick something to look at and really see it. Now breathe 3 more breaths. 2 more. Here's your last breath in. Stretch out. 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Bring your big toes to touch. Lift your left leg high. Inhale. Flip dog. So here for 5 full breaths. There's something about challenge, and this is why our style of practice, it's more challenging than some others. There's something about challenge that really makes presence a commodity. Like it really takes something to be there for all 5 of those breaths. Take 1 more breath in and then flip back. Big toes touch, side plank. I know as an athlete, I would tune out when things got hard, like just go off to another world in my mind. But the truth is, you're in this body. There's no other world to go to. It's this world. And so tune in for 2 more breaths. Just feel your hand, your foot. 1 more breath in. 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb, crescent lunge. Set your eyes out ahead and then feel your back foot. Press the baby toe side of your back foot down more. So really nice. Well, then the baby toe side, you'll feel your back inner thigh spin up towards the ceiling as you do that. Now take a breath in, press down for your back foot, stretch all the way up through your hands. Hands to heart center, crescent twist to the right side. From the press of your back foot all the way up through the left side of your body, get long. And in the last 2 breaths, concentrate on your left lungs and create some more space. Last breath in. Stay for a full breath out. Crescent lunge on the inhale, reach, and then warrior 2, open. And feet on that tightrope line. Set your gaze. So the most common spot is your middle fingernail on the right hand. Okay. Take your shoulders towards your upper back and then stretch fingertip to fingertip. So expand your upper back and your chest. Breath in, tilt, extended side angle. 1, 2, 3. If your hand's on the floor, try fingertips just to create more lift through your chest. Nice. 2 more breaths. On that last breath in, get all the stretch you can from your heel up to your top hand. Then 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot to your left thumb, crescent lunge. And so now get present to this side as a completely new opportunity, right? So you were here and some idea on the other side, but get present to your back foot on this side with brand new eyes. Good. Take a breath in, reach high, and then crescent twist to the left side. Press your back heel towards the back of the room and then stretch the top of your head towards the front. So you're creating this long line from the heel to crown. Now take 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Twist. Crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Set your eyes. I find that I really can't do anything new in the pose until my eyes are set. Just don't have access to what's really going on. Set your shoulders straight back. Now stretch fingertip to fingertip. Keep that. Take a breath in and tilt, extended side angle. So now your top arm, stretches over your top ear. And stretching doesn't necessarily mean that all the joints straighten out. You could even have a bent elbow, but stretch means that from your shoulder to your elbow, you're long. From your elbow to your wrist, you're long. From your wrist out to your fingers, you're long. So there's not this sad quality anymore. Everything is alive. Take one more breath in, get long, stretch all the way out, and then 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, stretch your chest out wide. Downward facing dog, press back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Jump, feet up to your hands. Lift halfway and fold deep. Chair pose, sit way back. Prayer twist to the right side. Set your eyes and right away stretch the sides of your body long. And play into this idea that it doesn't even necessarily mean that anything is going to change about your joints, but feel that sense of length and aliveness from the skin to the muscle to the bone on both sides of your body. And then with the inhale, chair pose, rise up and fold, fingers to toes, forward fold. Drop your head all the way down. Yep, I used to approach all stretching like pulling and locking joints, and that was the only way to do it. And it's not the only way to do it. There's a much more subtle way that's actually a much more powerful way. Drop your head down and feel that the stretch through your spine will happen when you let your head drop down as much as it will go. So let the weight of your head and its relationship to gravity do the work for you. And then you just have to breathe. And one more breath in. Blow all that air out. And then release. Sit back. Chair pose, reach up. And twist to the left side. Lengthen your knees forward and your sitting bones back. So you're lengthening from knee to hip. And from your sitting bones all the way up to the top of your head, get as long and energized to that line as you can. Now 2 more breaths. Really good breathing. Last breath in. Get as long as you can. Chair pose. Sit back, reach high, and fold. Gorilla pose. Drop your head all the way down. All the way down. And if you think your head has dropped, drop it again. Nice. Sarah, try your feet wider. A lot wider. Even more, even more. And then bend your knees more. Yeah. Now drop your head. That's it. And I notice, like, when I drop, the first thing I hit is my, like, mid-back, the area between my shoulder blades, is real tight. And so it might be that you might get present to sensations that are new. Can you let your head drop and just feel what you feel and breathe with what you feel? Take one more breath. Clear it out. And step off your hands, crow pose at the top of your mat. Hands wide, feet together. Squeeze your feet together. And look forward. Good. 5, 4, 3, just 2. See if you can stay with it. Last breath in. And 1. Feet to the back of your mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really good. Take a big breath in. Bend your knees, look forward. Float, feet to the top of your mat. Lift halfway and fold. Press down through your feet, roll up to stand. Reach high, extended mountain pose. Eagle pose on the right side. Breathe. Deep, deep breaths. One more. And step down, reach up. Left side. Get present to this quality of equanimity. It's a sense of peace, even in the center of challenge. Step down, reach up, take a breath. Standing leg raise, right side. Okay. Draw your shoulders straight back onto your upper back, and then press the top of your head up towards the ceiling so you're tall. Then open your leg to the right. Turn and gaze towards the left. 3 more breaths. With your next exhale, relax your right hip down, level with your left. So keep exhaling your right hip crease down. And then come back to center. Kick your right leg forward, reach high. Airplane pose. Kick your right leg back. Just 1 breath. So from your heel to your heart, get long. Breathe in. Hands to heart center. Half moon. 5 breaths. So you can stay extended or, yep, Heather, you'll switch. Yeah. That's like, sometimes that's the wake up in the morning, right? You realize like the wrong hand's in the wrong spot. You can stay extended or add the bind to it. And here's where you'll feel if you're taking the bind, you don't have to straighten your back leg out to have a stretch, right? So like Angie, as she grabs her ankle, she's going to kick her right shin towards the back of the room, and she's going to stretch her kneecap for the back of the room. And she's going to have a whole lot of stretch going on, even as her leg is bent. Take 1 more breath in, Sarah and Angie and everyone, and then 2 feet to the floor and fold. All the way down. Give yourself that moment to fold. I see a lot of people like skip this foldy part. Don't skip it. Come down, even if, especially if the back of your legs tend to be tight and that's why you skip it. This is a moment to decompress your hamstrings because they're working a lot when you balance. They need a moment for you to decompress them. Bend your knees more and drape all the way down. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, stack your arms on your legs so you can work here, but give yourself that moment to fold. Give it 1 more breath. And then press down through your feet, roll up to stand. So you're going to reopen that whole back line, reach up, and then standing leg raise on the left side. Good. Level your hips. So Ariana, let your left hip come down with your right hip. Even if it's, yes, that's it right there. Now breathe right there. It takes a little bit more strength than to lift your hip up and like kind of go askew. Let yourself drop into your center and into your strength. Then open your leg to the left and look off to the right side. With every exhale, drop your left hip down towards the floor, creating that level with your right hip. And Wilden too, let your left hip drop down a little bit. That's it. Good. Come back to center, kick your left leg forward, reach high, airplane pose. 1 breath from heel to heart, stretch long, half moon. Right away, from the center of your body, the area right behind your belly button, stretch all the way out through your arms, your legs, and your crown. And then stay or bind. You know, and then Sarah, press your shin back, the top shin. Good. 2 more breaths. Feel how as you stretch, the pose kind of pulls taut. Last breath in. And then 2 feet to the floor and fold. Bend your knees a lot. So I know my hamstrings are tight in the morning. Hands on your shins if it's a little bit too much to go all the way down. Give it 1 more breath. And then come rolling up to stand. At the top, bow, standing bow, or dancer pose on the right side. Bend your right knee. Reach your left arm up. Kick your right shin back in the center of your chest forward. Turn your right hip point, that's it, down towards the floor. 3 more breaths. If you're wobbly, a good tool that works for me is a sigh. And it just helps everything kind of settle. Beautiful. Then step down and switch sides. Standing bow dancer on the left side. There's something about this side that feels like, you know, when there's like mud in water, that it feels like all the mud, all the sediment is settling down. So take the sigh, settle into your standing foot. And then from your center, stretch. Take one more breath. Kristen and everyone, stretch chest to shin, and then step down. Really nice. At the top of your mat, tree pose. Right foot to your left inner thigh. Hands pressed at the center of your heart. And then stretch your arms up. Draw the front of your ribs in towards the center of your body. So you'll integrate your ribs in, and then from the sides of your body, stretch all the way up to your fingertips. Breath in, and then step down. Left side tree pose. And so as you work those 3 pillars, the first 3, and you access this quality of presence, heat becomes a natural part of the process. Intensity is a natural part of it. Take one more breath, press down, reach up, and then step down. 2 feet at the top of your mat. With the inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Halfway lifts, low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands, triangle pose. Set your gaze. Put in the first 3 pillars and watch for heat. Press down through your feet. 2 more breaths. Stretch all the way up through your top arm. 1 more breath in. Blow it out. And stand up. 10 toes face the left long side of your mat. Fold. Just 3 breaths. Side facing, wide-legged forward fold. Bend your knees more, everybody. Press down through your heels and lift your sitting bones straight up. So see if without locking your knees out, without totally straightening your knee joints, can you create this quality of stretch from heel to knee, from knee up to hip. Breath in, breath out. Press down through your feet, stand up. Turn forward, reverse namaste, front facing forward fold. Press back through your hips, reach down through your crown. Turn your back hip forward towards the front of the room and down towards the floor. And then drop your hands, add the twist. Press down for your back foot. It's like Angie's lifted her back foot up. That's an access point for sure, this pose. Whatever your back heel is doing, press through it. So Angie will press her heel towards the back of the room. Everyone else, you press your heel down into the floor and get as long as you can. Ariana, switch your hands. So left hand's down, that's it. Right arm's up. Now 2 more breaths. Ariana, press your back foot down. The heel might hover, that's okay. And then it's your big toe that you press. Blow all the air out. 2 hands to the floor, downward facing dog, press back. Take 1 breath in, blow it out. Step your left foot up between your hands, triangle pose. Soften your joints. So what we're getting is that stretching isn't about locking, especially like in hardening up your joints. Soften your joints And now stretch. Press your standing heel down, big toe mound down, and stretch from your ankle up through your knee. So like your shin muscles lengthen, your calf muscles lengthen. Then from your knee to your left hip, lengthen. And then create that through the whole rest of your body. Just this quality of aliveness and space and length. Last breath in, blow it out, stand all the way up. 10 toes face the right long side of your mat. Fold, side facing, wide-legged, forward folds. Three breaths. Drop your head down. As you organize the length from your heels up through the back of your legs to your sitting bones, then feel the length from the base of your spine all the way down through the crown of your head. And then press down through your feet, stand up, reverse namaste, front facing, forward fold. And open your feet up hip width distance apart. So a couple of you are on the tightrope again. Open up wider. It will let your hips move a lot easier. And then fold. So with that wider hip, wider feet, feel that you can turn your right hip point forward a little bit easier. Take a big breath in and drop your hands, twisting triangle pose. Right hand down, left hand high. Move your attention through your body and lengthen all your joints away from each other. So you're taking out any dullness. 2 more breaths. Last breath in. On the exhale, twist. 2 hands to the floor, downward facing dog, step back. Breath in. Breath out. Beautiful. Slide out to high plank. It feels good, right? This is about the moment where you're like, I'm glad I'm here. Right before you hit the back bends, right? Come all the way down to the floor. Get that moment on the floor. I always love this one moment where you're like, oh boy, here we go. You take a big breath. We made it. You're on the floor. It's a good moment. And then for locust, set your hands beside your low ribs today and wide. So back and wide. Press your hands down and back, and then lift your chest forward. Yeah, so it's just your chest forward. There's no pushing up at all. The only push is really back. Yeah, you can stretch your toes up and back. You could keep your feet on the floor. Take 2 more breaths. Good. 1 more breath, chest forward, and then lower all the way down. Undo your hands. Give your upper back a chance to breathe. It really just means like some circulation in your upper back. And then sit up number 2. Plant your hands. Press your hands a little bit down and a lot back. And peel your chest forward. Now stretch your feet back. So whether they're tucked or untucked, lengthen your heels back. Lengthen your chest forward. Take 1 more breath. Can you get a little bit more space? And then lower it all the way down. Undo your hands. Take 1 breath. And then bend your knees. Bow. Catch. Bring your knees in. And then kick your shin bones back. And you can do this one side at a time. And as you kick, heavy, heavy heart. So your chest, your heart leans forward and down. As you kick your shins back, let your arms go back. Take 1 more breath and lower it all the way down to the floor. Windshield wipe your legs side to side, 1 side each time. And then set up number 2 or second side. Bow, go for it. Good. Hug your knees together. It's like Ariana and Carrie and Sarah, knees a little more together. So you'll hug in, then kick back. Breath in, and lower it all the way down to the floor. Plant your hands beside your lowest rib. Press down and back. Peel your chest up, upward facing dog. Pause here. Good. Toenails on the floor. And all 10 toenails, especially the baby toe. So really feel your feet. You have to go there, right? Like, well, what are my feet actually doing? Go there with your feeling, all 10 toenails down. Now drag your arms back, press your toes down, and stretch your chest up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, downward facing dog, press back. Yeah, take a breath, blow it out. Drop to your knees, camel pose, one camel. Perfect. Greg's got his hands starting on the floor behind him. That's an awesome way to come into it. You could also stand up onto your knees with your hands at your bum. Or you're going to drop your hands down a little bit lower. So work at the back of your pelvis rather than your spine. And what you look for is tailbone down, lengthen that down, and lift the sides of your body up. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. Blow all the air out. And then inhale, chest up and out. Downward facing dog, press it back. Get a long spine here. Breath in. Blow it out. Look forward. Step or jump to a seat. Lie onto your back, bridge pose. Lift your hips up. So the practice could be viewed from the sense of you start by really being able to see your body, like you're looking at yourself a lot. And then each pose progressively, your eyes turn out and you can look at yourself less. You really have to feel what your body is doing to know what's going on. And so there's this increasing sense of a felt awareness. So like right here, you cannot see your feet. There's no possible way to see them. You have to feel them. So feel the groundedness, the center of each heel, the big toe mound of each foot. Feel that. And then feel that sense of aliveness through your legs. So your shins reaching forward, your thigh bones pressing up towards the ceiling, and your chest, your sternum, reaching for your chin. So you're lengthening all areas of your body out. Take one more breath, and then lower it all the way down. Good. You can windshield up your legs side to side, one time each. And then sit up again, bridge pose, and come on up. You can stay in bridge or plant your hands and come on up to wheel pose. Right? And now you can see even less. In fact, you're looking at probably somebody else right now. But can you see what you see and feel your whole body in this pose? 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Tuck your chin, come all the way down. Breath in. Breath out. We've got 4 more. Bridge or wheel. Set up and come up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin, come down. Take a breath in. Blow it out. 3 to go. Bridge or wheel. Come on up. So it's in these moments I find like maybe where I don't want to be where I'm at, or it's just really intense, where I tend to lose this quality of presence. And so for you, what will it take to bring the quality back in again? Breath in, tuck your chin, come down. Take 1 breath, clear it, second to last, bridge your wheel, come up. As a practice, what does it take to keep and maintain this quality of presence even as you're challenged, even as you're at an edge? 2 more breaths. Last breath in, tuck your chin, come all the way down. 1 breath on the floor, and then come up. And you could even stick a block under your butt if that's what it takes to get your butt up, right? Like show up in some capacity. And it doesn't mean you have to be at this extreme edge. You're just at a point where you're starting to lose that quality of presence. Like you want it to be over, you're rushing to be done, and bring presence in. 1 more breath. Tuck your chin, come all the way down, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees wide. I remember I did a program with Barron, who's the founder of our style of yoga, years ago. And I've been doing wheels for a while, and I thought I was pretty good with them. Like, it's just not that big of a deal anymore. He had us do 10 wheels, like 10 to 20 breaths each. And it was I realized there was a whole level I didn't even know about. Like, there was an edge I hadn't even looked at, considered. I was like, oh, there's that edge. And I felt like I got this presence thing down, and discovered, like, no, there's always a new edge you can push out into. And it's not about pushing yourself. It's about being willing to discover kind of where your edges are at. Where do I tune out? Where do I check out? And then using the tools that you learn in here as an access to staying awake and present and creating new possibility at your edges. Yeah, dead bug pose. For me, it has just made the world bigger. There's all these life situations that to me were my edges, and I just kind of didn't go there. But once I got the tools and kind of saw how they worked as an access to staying present in those moments, I feel much more empowered to go into spaces that would normally be my edge and would normally have me stay home. Good. Release your feet, stretch your legs up towards the ceiling, sit on your hands. Take a full breath in, and then lower your right foot to hover. Breath in, switch your legs. Breath in, switch your legs. All right, go for 30 seconds. So find your edge here. All right, so your core stable, and that may mean you slow down. Edge doesn't necessarily mean like bigger, deeper, or anything like that. But find the edge, and for me, the tell is heat. As soon as something starts to feel hot, like the temperature goes up and I start to sweat, I know I'm at an edge. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs up. Take a breath in. Lower your legs a third of the way down. Take a breath in. Lower a little bit more. Breath in. Lower a little bit more. Hold it 30 seconds. Yep, so you can add little, I like Angie's got like a little, I don't know what you would call that, like a zigzag. You could add some like freestyle kicks. I like it. Find your edge and then work right there. 15 more seconds. You can even, I love it. Just wiggle your legs around and see where is your edge at? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs up. Hug your knees down into your chest. Rock and roll forward and back. 1, 2, 3. On the third one, downward facing dog. So you'll plant your hands, cross your shins, step back. And then from down dog, high planks. We'll do one more of these. High plank. Feet wide, mat width distance apart wide, thumbs together under the center of your chest. Tighten up your legs. Now touch your right hand to your left shoulder. Good. Switch. 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 Go for 30 seconds. So in the 30 seconds, try your very best not to move your hips. So hips don't move anywhere, shoulders don't move anywhere. The trick is tighten your legs up more. Tighten, tighten. Good. 15 seconds. Right at that edge. So we're like, you're rushing for it to be done. What could you do as an access to presence? 5, 4, 3, 2, downward facing dog on 1. Half pigeon on the right side. All right. And keep your eyes open. Okay, tuck your back toes under. So you'll tuck your back toes into the mat. And then keeping your hips where they're at. So your hips are not going to really move at all. Keep your hips where they're at. Tuck your back toes under and wiggle your left foot back further. So I get this sensation that what will typically happen is you'll wiggle your foot and your hip will go with you. And there's actually no stretch in your hip when you do that. See if you can keep your hip where it's at. Wiggle your left foot back and lengthen your back leg out as much as you can. And it may not be very much. And then you can keep your toes tucked and press your heel back to keep the length through your back leg. So from your left hip back for your left knee, from your left knee back for your left heel. Good. Ariana, I'm going to adjust you a little bit. Is it okay if I touch your leg? So you're going to move up here like that. Now keep your hip right here. Tuck this toe under. Keep your hip here and see how like that. Stretch all that back. Now you could drop your knee if you want, or you can keep your knee up if it feels good to have that length. Take one more breath. And then switch sides. Get settled first, and especially get settled to your hips, level. So left and right are level with each other and square towards the mat. And then tuck your back toes under. Keep your hips as they are, and from right hip to right knee, get as long as you can. That's it. And then from your knee to your heel, get as long as you can. So there's like this quality. Yes. And then from your pelvis, maybe even up to the sides of your body, can you get longer? Maybe across your shoulder blades and your chest, can you get wider? One of our newer teachers, Amanda, who teaches over at York, I was assisting during her class. She gave this great visualization. She said, imagine that there's a bubble around you and you are stretching your whole body out to touch all the edges of the bubble. It was such a great visualization. You kind of get to see where your body is not quite pressing out into that bubble. Take one more breath. And then press up to your hands. Swing your right leg forward. Seated single leg extension. Stretch your arms up. Get all that length through your spine. And then fold over your right thigh. Stay present as a moment by moment by moment skill that you're applying. Breath in, breath out. Sit all the way up. Switch your legs. Reach up high. Inhale, and then fold over your left foot. Exhale. Right? Because the practice is still happening. You're still breathing. Life is still happening. So there's more to discover. There's more to get present to, always. Blow all the air out, drop in, and then sit up. Both legs straight. Actually, scratch that one. Reverse table. We'll move on. Plant your feet, plant your hands, lift your hips, lift your heart, and I'll stretch out into that bubble. So press down with your chest and hips. Press up. Get wide. So hips wide, shoulders wide. Take a full breath in, and then open your mouth, let it go. Sit down, lie back, legs up, plow pose into shoulder stands or headstand or handstand. Drishti, Ujjayi, breath, and foundation. A completely new orientation now with foundation, but still your hands, still your feet, and still your core. And if you're in shoulder stand, come back to plow. Headstand. See if you can bend your knees down to your chest and hover. So before your feet would touch. Good, Kathy. See, can you bring your thighs to your belly and hold it? Oh, so that's like that next step. See if you can hold your belly, your thighs to your belly, and not let your feet touch for a couple breaths. And then if you're in plow, Deaf Yogi. And together, everyone roll down onto your back, one bone at a time. At the bottom, supine twist, knees to the right, eyes to the left. And then switch sides. And come back to center. Hug your knees into your nose and your nose into your knees. So as you hug in this last time, really squeeze your bicep muscles, squeeze your knees in, squeeze your chin and your nose in, and then from squeezing in, can you swell out into the imaginary bubble? Take a big breath in, squeeze tight, blow all the air out, and then release your legs, Shavasana. There's a cool eye towel in the upper corner of your mat if you're in studio. As we come to this final rest pose, each pose progressively taking our eyes off of our own body and having us rely on our felt sense to know that it's still there. Shavasana is the ultimate pose. And so as you close your eyes, stretch your attention all the way out to the edges of your body. And feel whatever there is to feel. And make your next 3 breaths incrementally bigger. And if you'd like, you can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and really feel your fingers move. Like feel the mechanism, the bones, the muscles, the skin. As your fingers move, your toes move. Something that wholly goes unnoticed most of the time on most days. And after that 3rd breath, draw your knees up into your chest. Feel your legs, like your hands touching your pants, the feel of your pants on your legs, the feel of your thighs maybe against your stomach. And then roll over to the right side. Turn all the way down. Forehead down, chest down, belly down into the floor. And get totally present to the feel and the support of the floor beneath you. And then with your eyes closed, press yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands together over the center of your heart. And from the center of your heart, stretch all the way up and out. Yeah, so like your hands could stay. If they go up, that's fine. But your hands ultimately back at heart center. From your heart, you don't have to move anything. From the center of your heart, can you expand out in a way where your shoulders get wider, your head gets taller, your whole body takes up more space, but you don't have to move in order for that to happen. And then from that space, take a big breath in, clear it out, and we'll send our voice out with 3 final ohms. Inhale. Lift your thumb knuckles up to the center of your forehead. Take a moment to give yourself praise, give yourself credit, give yourself some gratitude and grace for showing up and doing something so good for yourself and ultimately for those around you. And maybe a prayer that this presence that you've created, whatever you've created this morning, stays with you for the rest of the day and the rest of the week ahead. And together, take a breath in, blow it out. Namaste. Namaste. Great job this morning, everybody. Excellent. Great to see you, Kathy, as always. You're welcome.